Hello guys, my name is Anna and I'm from Ukraine, and I have decided to vlog daily since the start of Russia's brutal invasion to my beautiful and independent country, Ukraine. And I believe that together on my channel we will witness Ukrainian victory. So if you're new, please subscribe, because this is a good way to support Ukraine too. Knowing more about us, talking about us with those who doubt, you help Ukraine win. And today I want to speak about another quite unexpected topic, and honestly sometimes in newspapers, on Facebook, I come across a phrase, months of something. For example, I don't know, months of awareness on something, or healthcare months or something like that. So if I had to name the months of May that way, I would say a month when Russians surprised me. Disclaimer, don't worry, I did not start liking Russians. I'm really far away from that, and I think this does not threaten me during this lifetime, actually. But those Russian partisans that liberated settlements in Belgorod and Bryansk region were true inspiration and totally unexpected news to me. And today I have watched an interview of Prigozhin, who is Putin's cook. He is very close friend, oligarch, and also the head of the private Wagner army, which actually stands and fights in Bakhmut for months. And I watched his interview where he spoke about Ukrainian army, and honestly, at first I decided not to share it because it looked totally fake. I felt like someone is using deepfake with Prigozhin where he speaks about Ukraine. But later, I have read the articles, I have seen our military analyzing that, and it turns out to be the truth. So Prigozhin surprised me on a similar level than those Russian partisans did. I don't know if you have seen this interview in translation, but I have collected this top facts that he mentioned, and that surprised me. And honestly, if I did not have his name on the title of this video, you could have thought I'm talking about a Ukrainian person who is very much into Ukraine. So, first of all, he is speaking to another Russian propagandist, and he is totally dissatisfied with the situation of Russian army during this war. So he starts saying that, okay, we invaded Ukraine in February, started looking for Nazis, did not find ones, and then we attacked Kyiv and we lost it. We attacked Kherson, we had to escape. And he uses like this traditional bad Russian language, but he says like one by one how they've lost everything, what they intended to have in Ukraine, using bad Russian vocabulary. Then he says that one of the main tasks of Putin's special military operation, and I constantly speak about that, was to denationalize Ukraine. And you know that in Putin's narrative, it is very common to deny the very existence of Ukrainian nation. And Prigozhin has to state that Ukrainians became super popular. Actually, we made them visible. We legitimized their nation. So all Russians, by the way, believe me, all Russians pretty well know how different we are, that we are a separate culture, that they cannot understand our language, that everything is different, and they choose to deny our existence because of their Russist nature. It's not like they are ignorant. No, that is their choice. So here Prigozhin states that, okay, we failed because everyone saw Ukrainian nation, and that is actually the truth, because for so long we were hidden behind Iron Curtain, and you will agree that for many of you, Ukraine was something like Russia, or a rebellious part of Russia, or not very different from Russia. And I still have people who can tell us, well, you're not very different. That is very impolite. So here we have that Prigozhin agrees that Ukraine is a country. Ukrainians are a nation, and there are no Nazis here. They did not manage to find ones, at least. And also he compares us to Greeks or ancient Romans. He says, like, the world is crazy about Ukrainians. They have become same popular as ancient Greeks or something like that. Well, thank you. Here is where he surprises me. But he says that, yeah, they feel it, they see it, they understand it, that they failed. And now the world knows more about Ukraine than it was before the start of the war. They wanted to erase us, to put this iron curtain again, to hide us in shadow, and to do their dirty, bad things, reviving Soviet Union. So they failed here. And then he starts speaking about another dream of Putin, another aim of Putin in this war, that was to demilitarize Ukraine, and happened just the contrary. We did not have a strong army, especially before 2014, once again, because of various reasons, because of Ukrainian negligence and because of various Russian economic special operations and various intelligence services work, because they were buying our weapons, they were putting their pro-Russian figures on various defense positions, and they were always trading gas prices, so never be dependent on Russia. And he says, Prigozhin says, that at the beginning of this war, they had like 500 tanks, and then now they have thousands of tanks. At the beginning of this war, they had 40,000 people fighting, and now they have 700,000, and they are professionals. Also, he, of course, notices that Ukraine has really strong allies, and now our soldiers, and by the way, an important notice, especially to those who doubt whether Ukraine should join NATO in future, Ukrainians on practice, on battlefields, know how to use old Soviet weapons, modern NATO weapons, and all the other kinds of weapons that you bring to us. Of course, this is a kind of experience no country dreams to have. But if you have this experience, it's important to share it with other armies of the world. That's why I think that our military, our generals, even our politicians may be useful later on various international positions and various international institutions, because like we know Russia, we see Russia, and we know how to fight Russia and how to stop Russia. So hopefully this will be useful. Prigozhin, who is the head of that private army that had lots of experiences in the Middle East, in Africa, and in Europe. So anyway, he managed to see different kinds of troops and different kinds of military tactics. And actually, he was invited to participate in this war after serious Russian failures. So he is seen as the strengthening power. He says that he's surprised at the strength of Ukrainians. He honestly says that he's surprised with Ukrainian spirit, that we are all very organized, and that we have this real aim for this war. And this is correct, that to some extent this war brings us similar emotions as Russians like to call it, Great Patriotic War, aka the Second World War, gave to Soviet soldiers. And once again, yes, I cannot but agree. We protect our motherland. We do not loot washing machines in a neighboring country. We fight for our future. We protect our children, our elderly, our future, our country, our lifestyle that turns out to be much better than Russian. So I was very much surprised with this interview, and it is very contrary to what Prigozhin said at the beginning of this war. Once again, I don't trust Russians. I will not trust them even then when you will begin to trust them, because I'm Ukrainian And we had troubles with Russia for the last 300 centuries. So my grandparents, my great-grandparents, and those whom I don't even know, but they are my ancestors, probably had problems with Russia. But this is an important signal that Ukraine is strong. Ukraine is winning this war. By the way, maybe that's a separate topic for my future video. Russian trolls, even on my channel, are losing their charm, and the arguments that they use are pathetic. Honestly, they are not professional. They don't even make my blood pressure rise for 10 points or something. So this fact proves that we have to continue fighting. We do not have to start negotiating, because unpunished evil grows. And if we freeze this war, we will have stronger, worse war in 5-10 years. Russian regime must be punished. People must be imprisoned for what they have done. Ordinary Russian population must see the truth of this war, and then decades of hard work on denazification of Russia. But before that, we still have to win this war. And I just wanted to share with you this vision that, like, not all people in Russia are blind. Of course, there are hundreds of sources of Russian propaganda that will continue speaking about the strongest army in the world, but it is not true. And those who are actually fighting on the front lines on Russian side, they already speak about that, which is contrary to what they said a year ago. So Ukraine is capable of surprising, but most importantly, Ukraine is capable of stopping Russia. And if you want to live in a safer world, please be patient and continue supporting us. This is very important, not to stop halfway. But I know we're not like that, and I'm very grateful to have you in my life and as friends in our community. Let me know if you would like to have a live session of question and answers with me this Saturday evening, because I feel like I've missed you. If the time is okay, let me know that in comments below this video. Thank you for buying me coffee. I spent your money on tea and our projects. Soon I will introduce you to the updated version of our Sunday videos and hope that you will like them more. Thank you for becoming patrons, and introduce yourself to our beautiful merch. All the links, including my Twitter and Instagram accounts and Discord community, are in the description of this video. Slava Ukraini!